Matt Lenihan for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and Our Kings. Been joined by Liam Smith. Liam, first off, what an event this is, by the way. It's a bit of a curveball. Didn't even know I was coming until a few weeks ago, but there's everybody here from sort of all walks of life in boxing. It was an incredible show. Jazza Dickens challenges for a world title. Just talk to me about this event, first of all.
Yeah, unbelievable event, unbelievable names, unbelievable faces here. A little bit like, when the Saudis kicked in and they announced themselves to the boxing world, basically. I think IBA are doing the same thing now. If it carries on the way it's going now, then it looks like it's going to be a success. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to this show tonight.
It's an impressive setup, isn't it? I mean, we can't obviously show everything, but at the Rixos Hotel, this is 5-star experience, and look, all the names are out. Jazza Dickens fights obviously tonight, Liverpool lad. It's a tough fight. We all know the guy he's fighting, but how pleasing would it be to see someone like Jazza get that title? Yeah,
like I say, look, but the invitations and the invite we got to come here was a bonus. That Jazza was top of the bill fighting for the world title, so we jumped at the chance and buzzing to get behind Jazza, and fingers crossed he can become world champion tonight, because what a stage to become world champion on in front of the faces that are going to be here.
Well, look, wanted to quickly touch on brother Callum. A lot of reports coming out, he's got a big fight coming up soon. Nothing confirmed. I saw something online, I think it might have been Everything Boxing, saying potentially a yard on the Eubank Ben undercard, but talks with Benavidez as well. Obviously, as his brother, have you got a preference for him? Do you like to see either fight, or is it just whatever makes sense for him?
Whatever whatever gets the fire in his belly, whatever gets him up for it, like Boaty did. Like I say, all the stories. He's been world champion, he's made money and what have you. He still needs fights to get up for. Boaty was one of them, and like I say, them names mentioned, there'll be another one. But I think the yard fight hasn't been mentioned. I think that's not on the table at the moment. I think he's in talks with Benavidez, and I think that's one that he'll take over yard unless something happens, because Benavidez is will be for the world title, could possibly be for the unification fight if Callum becomes WBO champion.
Potentially a huge fight in Las Vegas as well, which obviously is one of the homes of boxing.
Yeah, of course. I'm in the could be back in Saudi also. A bit like a semi-final with Better BF and Bivol, so we'll see how it plays out over the next month or so.
Well, there's some huge fights coming up. Nevertheless, obviously we go to there's the Ring Magazine card, there's Taylor Serrano, Usyk Dubois. Let me just touch on that one first. I think we've seen obviously a bit of a resurgence in Daniel Dubois' career, and he's coming off a hellacious knockout of Anthony Joshua. Usyk's a different beast, let's be honest. He rose to the occasion every time. We saw what happened in the first fight. But is he dealing with a different Daniel Dubois this time around?
Yeah, he'll be confident starting off the fight, but I think when he knows how good Usyk is, it's a different story, if that makes sense. You have to start with Usyk in 4th and 5th gear, where Usyk starts in 1, 2, and by the time round 4, 5 comes, Usyk's going into 3, 4. You're coming down from 5 and 4 into 3 and 2. You can't stay in 5th gear for 12 rounds of a fight, so that's how Usyk masters the game plan, and it's always just so good like you've got to start the fight in 5th gear to go with him.
Is there any heavyweight who you go, he's the one who gives him his closest challenge, or is that guy not there yet?
The heavyweights are all one punch away, so you could be a fool in saying no, because one punch changes the fight in them heavyweight divisions, but there's no one who can match him for ability. No one in the heavyweight who will match him for ability, and doing the 12 rounds and stuff like that. Somebody can hit him, and that's just like I said all along, with people being, I'll go back to me and Eubank, people convinced he couldn't be hit. Anyone can be hit, especially in the heavyweight division, so someone can hit him, someone can catch him, but no one can match him for ability.
I've got to ask, obviously boxing's a fickle sport, you know that yourself, you win the next best thing's in sliced bread, you take a loss and you finish within seconds. People talk about obviously Tyson Fury, I know he's here coming back, and Anthony Joshua, and look, like you said, anyone can get knocked out in the heavyweight division, one big punch does it. Do you want to still see the Joshua Fury fight, or what's your sort of thoughts on that? I hear some people say, nah, Tyson, stay retired, he's done everything he needs to, but do you still want to see that?
Badly, I want to see it, and I want to see it next. I think now's the perfect time to get that fight. Two of them I'm not shocked, but the confidence is not as high as it was. Joshua's coming off the back of a couple of losses as in Usyk, Dubois. Fury's coming off the back of 2 losses against Usyk now. He's not invincible no more. So yeah, I think now's the perfect time for them both to fight. As a fan point of view, I think now is the best time for them to fight also. Yeah.
Return of Manny Pacquiao. I think I spoke to your brother Paul on this a few weeks ago, so let me get your opinion. 46 years of age, been out the ring 4 years. He's going against Mario Barrios. I had the pleasure of speaking to him last week. He looks a big boy at 147 as well. Active fighter. Would it surprise you at all if Pacquiao comes back and wins? Where are you at with that? Because you don't want to see anyone come back and get hurt when you've got a guy like that who's achieved 8 divisions, world champion. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, look, there's loads of ways to look at it. With the greatest respect, I don't think Barrios is a elite WBC world champion. I don't think Manny Pacquiao would have come back to challenge a Boots Ennis, somebody like that. But that being said, Manny Pacquiao is 46, hasn't boxed for 5 years or whatever it may be. I still think it's a huge ask for Pacquiao, and I'd be surprised. Yeah, I'd be massively surprised if he wins.
In boxing right now, from sort of your perspective, aside from AJ Fury, what would be one fight that you would make? As in, like, if you could pick it, you're the promoter, Callum Smith. You pick the fight where it is one that you'd be willing to get up at 4 a.m. in the morning and say, you know what, I want to watch that. Is there a fight?
Yeah, there's a good few.
Give me at least 2.
Only because what I think on the fight and loads of interest in it. Tank and Shakur Stevenson. I was always mad for Boots Ennis and Crawford.
I think that's an incredible fight.
Honestly, I've seen Boots when I was over in the States. I followed him for a number of years now before he did break out. I sparred. What's his name again? Who fought Robbie Davies? Not Shabaka. What's his name again? He fought Adam Azim, Robbie Davies. Oh my God, his name's gone on me out. Oh my God, his name's just gone off me head.
Adam Azim knocked him out, didn't he? The guy
stopped him in the 5th or 6th, yeah. Shafakov, no? Oh my God, what's his name?
You sparred him, which is kind of on you this morning.
His name's just gone off me out.
I know who you mean. He came over, didn't he? He came over and he got wiped, didn't he, by Azim?
Yeah. He fought Robbie Day. He was world champion, IBF. Well, anyway, yeah, I sparred him when he was fighting Boots. He's just, I don't know, he's a great fighter.
Limpnets.
Sergey Limpnets, yeah. But yeah, I remember thinking I'd put Boots in with Crawford and Spence now.
Yeah.
I just think he compete with both of them when they were the both 147 champions.
Crawford and Canelo coming up, it's going to be a huge event. You know, when I look at Crawford and people say he's moving up the weight, and I know it may not make a difference because you think, but I look at Crawford. No, you don't. No, I'm saying his stature, he's big, he's thick, but when you get in the ring on fight night, you know Canelo's going to be 185, 190. Talk to me about
is Crawford going to fight at the weight he's at, walking around at? I think Crawford might come in 164, 165 and try and keep a bit of speed because that's his best asset, his speed, his rhythm, his timing. There's just differences. There's a difference in being one. You ask Canelo now, could he make 154? He'd have to chop his leg off. Boots, Crawford could still make 147. He moved up to 154 for Madrimov for legacy to be a 2-weight world champion. Now he's trying to be a 2-weight world champion, to be a 4-weight world champion. Now he's trying to be 5. He skipped middleweight, so it'll be interesting to see. But I just don't think he'll be big enough and solid enough.
I remember seeing you out in Vegas. I think I was there when Canelo got out the car. And he come and meet you and shake your hand straight away. You must have so much respect for him, this position he's in. Obviously, you've achieved a hell of a lot in your career, but when you see Canelo, the sort of song and dance that he brings to every thing, and he come out and shake your hand, is there that mutual respect between fighters? It's good to see.
Yeah, I think there was, and I think that was great on his behalf more than mine at that time, because I was there as a fan on a holiday. He was having his grand arrival to fight, Triple G. And still got out of his car. Now I wouldn't have thought disrespectful twat, or I wouldn't have had any bad feeling if he walked straight in and didn't acknowledge me, because not that he's nervous, but he's switched on. You know, it's his grand arrival to fight Triple G, and for him to come out of his way and come over to myself, to show the touch of class of him.
Look, I know you don't like talking about yourself, and I know you've mentioned it in many interviews, but is there any updates on yourself, or are you just sort of living life and going, I'll see what happens?
Yeah, no, I'm just chilling at the moment. I've had a nice holiday with 2 kids. I'm playing paddle.
Any good?
Yeah, I'm alright, yeah. But like I say, look, if the phone goes over the next couple of months, I'll take it. If it goes a long time with the ring again, I'll retire. I'll be happy. But either or, I won't make any decisions now.
Are you content either way? Aren't you?
Yeah, I'm content either way, mate. Regardless, I'm happy with what I've done. I've been pro a long time.
Yeah.
To still have the fire in my belly I've got. It's a testament to myself. Probably I've been professional 17 years, it's a long time.
Absolutely. Well, look, I appreciate you giving us your time, and hopefully we can still catch up even if you're not in and around, the fight game. And look, really appreciate it as always.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.